Hey guys, welcome back to another video on MS Excel. So, so in today's video, we look at the basics of Excel. So this is an actual beginner kind of lesson. So if you have not used Excel in your life, and if you want to know what is it, why they use Excel for, and how you can utilize to solve some of the problem as part of your day-to-day work, we would try and look at all of that. Okay, so today is absolute basic, as I said. So if you people have used already Excel, it's the video not for you. So this is for someone who's never used Excel in their life and want to learn about it. Yep. So let's get started. So the first one is, okay, so we need to understand before we using Excel, what is it? So basically Excel is a spreadsheet kind of program. So from Microsoft. So spreadsheet are there in other operating system also, but MS Excel is basically from Microsoft, and it is part of the MS Office product group for business application, and that is what is Excel is. And why generally we use Excel? So Excel is used to capture structured data. So what do I mean by structured data? So any data which you can divide it by row and column. I will explain what is a row and column, and that is called structured data. So to capture that structured data, and if you want to format that, and if you want to organize it, and if you want to some calculations using that data, you want to do some kind of analysis, and those are the few reasons, okay, generally why people use Excel. So it is used from a very basic level, I would say, from a university student till someone who's in a high paying job, or who's in a investment bank, who wants to do high end modeling to understand patterns of data to take some decision making. So it is very versatile, and it is use it. So this is a basic introduction about Excel. So let's look at some of the features which you need to know. I would say, like, I've not thought about it from any angle apart from how I've used Excel. So if I'm an absolute beginner, so what are the few features I would use, and that's what I'm going to explain. So on the first feature, probably I would call it is filtering. But before we get into this feature, as I said, you need to know what is a row and a column. So if you see this Excel spreadsheet is divided into multiple rows. These are rows A, B, C, D. All these are rows, and these are what I meant was A, B, C, D are columns, not rows. So you can see A, B, C, D. This is a column, and 1, 2, 3, 4 are rows. So that intersection of the rows and column is what is making a spreadsheet. And every this is called a cell. So any a column A and row 1, you select that, it is a cell. But if you select a group of cells together, it's called a range. A1 to A4 is a range, but we'll go into that in future. Okay, we'll go into that as we pass along, okay, in the Excel tutorial, okay, and you will understand it. I think first thing is filtering, as I said. So I have a sample data here. So what do I mean by filtering? Okay, so you have this data. Let's say right now you want to filter this data by only staff. How would you do that? So that's why we use a feature called filter. So you can do it by selecting this whole data set, or selecting the first cell of the header of this table, and click data and click on filter. So that would apply this kind of filter. So this one method to apply filter. If you want to remove it, you can click back again, or there's a shortcut called Alt D FF. So it's Alt plus D plus F plus F. This is the shortcut. Yeah, this one, Alt D FF. Yeah. So let me delete this. Yeah. So now I've applied a filter. So why it is used? Say, let's say initially I said I want to only filter for staff. Now quickly you can just select this, and you select only staff. It would show only that staff data. And basically you're filtering the data, this feature. I hope you understood this. Yeah. Okay. And the second one, what you're going to look at is sorting. So now you looked at filter. So I think this data is, you can see 2017 visits. So just take this online store, the number of people who are visiting the online store. That's the data you've collected. So now if you want to sort the the whole data by 2017 visit, say descending or ascending. So let's look at descending. Click here, and you can sort by color. So if you have a color, we can sort it. Okay, we don't have a color. Here you can see sort smallest to largest or largest to smallest. When I click smallest to largest, which is ascending, you can see, okay, just a second. You can simply smallest to largest. Right, this is okay. Select one of the category and sort A to Z, but this can be sorted. I'm not sure why. Yeah, okay. So now I understood. Because some are in formulas. Yeah. So I don't want any formula, so I'll just copy and paste it as special or a text now. So right now, let's say you want to sort it. So if you want to sort it, you click this filter and you say largest to smallest. So right now you can see the largest values on the top, 4,500. So that is descending, and ascending is smallest to largest, like this. So it is sorted by this column. So likewise, if you want to sort by this column, you can do the same thing, largest to smallest. So I have the largest here, and that is what is called sorting. Yeah. So the next one is data selection. So right now you would have noticed, this is the data I've got. So let's say you want to select this. I can use the mouse to select like this. That's one method. Or I can use a shortcut. So Control Shift right arrow, that will select the top line. Control Shift down arrow, that would select all the data that has been entered. So this is basically selecting the data. Or if you want to select the whole sheet, you can press this one on the diagonal. That would select the whole sheet. So that is called selecting. So the next one is range. So as I said, I will talk about range. Okay, so basically, so this is a cell, selecting an intersection of row and column. Let's say A column and row 1 is called cell. But if you're selecting one column and multiple rows, let's say I select A column and I'm selecting 13 rows, which is A1 to A13. So there's address, right? A1 to A13. So that is called a range. Or if you select this whole thing, A1 to G13, that is a range. So one thing you should know is you can name this range. Let's say this whole range, I'm going to name it as data. How can I do it? So select this whole thing, this whole table where the data is there. Then, go to data. Sorry, not data. So it is in formulas. You go to Frame Manager and give a new range name. So I'll call it as data. Yeah. I gave you. So now this range has been named as data. So right now this A15 is a cell. Now if you want to select the data, you can go select this. This whole range is a data. And it is very useful when you're writing some other formulas. So that's why we use this range. It's a good thing to know. Yeah. And the next one is basic functions. So sum is basically adding up things. So you can use sum in different ways. So the syntax is equal to sum of. So you can select all these numbers together. So that would select this whole range, D2 to D13, and close the bracket. And it will say 16,000. It summed the whole data of this particular column. Or if you want to, sum only two of them, let's say the first two, you can select this way, or you can say sum of D2, okay, right now my delimiter is this one, and D3, which means it would sum only those two. That is 5,000. That's how the syntax. So that is called summing, basically addition. You can take it like that. And count is, so you're just basically counting the total number of rows here. You say equal to count and you select this whole range. It will tell you what is the total count. Well, so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 count of data. That is what is counting. So now the next one, what we can look at is, so if is more of a conditional kind of formula. So you give some conditions. Let's say I want to say the current purchases is greater than the previous purchases. Then I want to say that we are doing good. Otherwise I'll say we are not doing good. So for that we have to use if. Yeah. So we say if the current purchases that is greater, that is a operator we use to find whether this is greater than this one, this value. Then you put this what to say, the delimiter. I'm using this one. So if this happens, if it is true, then I'm saying we are doing good. Since it's string, you have to give in double quotes. Otherwise, else, if the condition doesn't pass, you have to say we are doing bad. So that would, okay, because I cannot give comma here because mine is not comma. Generally, you give comma, but I have changed the settings to this delimiter. So it means we are doing bad, which means current purchase is lesser than the previous year purchase. So likewise, you can drag it. Okay, in all the cases, we are doing bad because the current purchase is always lesser than the previous year purchase, and that's why we use if condition. Yeah. So then division, multiplication, subtraction. So we will do this and we'll stop this video today. Yeah. So division is basically, if it's same as division, like if you want to divide something by something. Let's say you want to know what is the purchases for per visit. So what I'll do, I need to divide this total purchases by the number of visits. So I'll say equal to this, divide this slash by this. So that give me $0.16 per visit. I'm making $0.16 per visit. I can drag this, like double click this, and that would apply the same formula for all the different rows. And that is division. Yeah. Let's say now I want to multiply, the current businesses multiplied by current purchases. So I just say equal to this, multiply is asterisk, yeah, by this is this. Yeah. So likewise, I can drag it again. Yeah. So this is the multiplication. So after that, what we have, subtraction. Yeah. So let's say I want to know how much badly we are doing from previous year purchases. So I just subtract it from previous year minus this year. So the lost revenue, okay, is lost purchases is this 1050. Basically, you're multiplying previous year minus current year. And the operator is hyphen. Yeah. So I'll stop this here because I don't want to make a long video. The next video will look at the other features for basics in Excel. Yeah. Thanks a lot for listening.